Welcome to my channel. This class is all about connecting to our pelvic floor. In Pilates we talk a lot about it, but because it's so internal, we're often not quite sure if we're doing it right. So I hope this class will shed some light on that. We're going to use a small ball. It's best if it's not too blown up, if it's a little bit squishy. And we're going to come to sitting on the ball. I'm sitting cross-legged, but find whatever sitting position feels best for you. So our pelvic floor is resting on the ball. And we're just going to shift the weight a little bit from side to side. So we're finding the sits bones, the right and the left sits bones. It's two little bony protuberances that we sit on. Coming to center, and we're going to move forwards and backwards. So moving in between the pubic bone in front and the coccyx, the tailbone behind. Just rocking forwards and backwards a few times. Then coming back to center, and I'm visualizing my pelvic floor as a diamond that connects between the two sits bones, the tailbone and the pubic bone. And as we exhale, we're going to think of lifting the diamond up, holding for a second, and then just relaxing it back. Again, visualizing that diamond getting smaller but lifting up, so we're actually lifting the pelvic floor muscles off the ball and then relaxing, really releasing. So we're going to do that on a count for 5. We're going to lift and close 2, 3, 4, 5 and release 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going. You might not get to 5. That's fine. Just go as far as you can to hold it and then release. And again, squeezing and lifting up, holding for a second, relaxing it down. Just release without pushing. Let's do it one more time, that slow rhythm, lifting it up. Hold if you can a little bit more. And relax. I'm going to really release it. Bring the hands forwards. Just gently rock forwards and backwards. And then coming back to center, rolling up vertebra by vertebra. Let's take the hands back, bring the feet forwards. I'll turn around so you can see it better. And just roll the hips forwards a little bit. And we're going to think of the back part of the pelvic floor muscles, squeezing and releasing. So it's as if you're trying not to pass gas. You're squeezing those back muscles and releasing. And for now, we're trying to keep the buttocks relaxed, trying to keep the stomach relaxed, the shoulder relaxed, just finding that contraction of the back muscles, the back part of the pelvic floor muscles. Let's do it one more time. And then we're going to shift the weight. Open your legs. They can be bent or straight, however you feel most comfortable. And now I'm thinking of the front part of the pelvic floor muscles. On the exhale, contracting, lifting, and releasing. So the image now is if I'm trying to stop the flow of urine. Squeeze and release. So really focusing on the front part of the pelvic floor. Let's do that one more time. squeeze. Coming back up, coming back to the sitting position. If you had your legs crossed like me, try and cross the other leg over. And going back to that sense of lifting the diamond, but this time we're going to do it on a slightly different rhythm. We're going to lift and release. So working the fast twitch muscles. Lift and contract. Contract and release. Up, release. Squeeze, release. Squeeze and squeeze. Just a few more times. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. Twice more. Squeeze. Let that go. And again, just walking forwards, relaxing over. So as important as it is to strengthen the muscles of the pelvic floor, it's also super important to release them, relax them. Properly functioning muscle works when we need it to work and relaxes when we need it to relax. Coming back. Okay, let's put the hands behind, feet forward, roll the hips. This time we're going to connect the work with the center, with the stomach muscles as well. So inhale, and as you exhale, think of pulling the stomach in and up and slightly bending the elbows. Stretching the elbows and release. Again, rolling, engaging the stomach. And up. So if that feels enough challenge for you, stay with the arms behind. If you're looking for a little bit more challenge for the stomach muscles, let's start with the hands on the knees. And again, rolling the hips forwards as you think of drawing the stomach in and coming back. So just go as far as feels right for you. Rolling the hips, putting the stomach in, just making sure that the shoulders are relaxed. Coming up, if you want a little bit more work, reach the fingertips forwards, rolling. And coming up. So engaging the pelvic floor, using the stomach roll. Stay there for a moment. Coming up. Let's just do one more time. This time we're going to just stay there and breathe. And each exhalation, think of scooping the stomach even more. And then carefully, we're going to come to lying on our backs. Making sure the ball is in a comfortable place. Very gently rocking up and down. So again, everything's relaxed and released. And let's circle, taking hip circles in one direction. Tuning into the breath as it flows in and out. And let's go in the other direction. Coming back to center. Bring one knee and then the other knee in towards your chest. Exhale, find the contraction of the pelvic floor muscles and let the right foot drop down towards the floor, keeping that engagement. Keep it going all the way. And then when the knee comes back, relax. So again, exhale, contract your pelvic floor muscles, keep them contracted. Left toes reach down towards the floor. Keep contraction as you come up and then release. And just do that a few more times. So the challenge is to keep the pelvic floor muscles engaged all the time and then relax them. And again, squeeze. So as with the pelvic floor muscles, I'm also feeling the lower stomach. If that's challenging enough for you, keep going with one leg. If you want a bit more challenge, both legs together. Squeeze your pelvic floor muscles. I'm thinking of my inside thighs squeezing together as well. Toes reach towards the floor. They don't have to get there. Everything is still contracted, still lifted, and then release. We'll just do that a few more times. Toes or toe down towards the floor. And back. I'm going to do it twice more, really focusing on lifting the pelvic floor, feeling how the lower stomach is engaged. Taking a moment to relax everything. One more time. So it's small movements, but they're very, very effective. This time I'm going to reach the legs up. So again, relaxing the pelvic floor muscles. Tuning into the breath. And then let's open the legs so we're actually stretching the pelvic floor. I might want to play with it a little bit with the legs from side to side, just to get a good stretch. So we're stretching the inside of the thighs, but also the pelvic floor muscles are opening, releasing. And then we're going to bring the legs back and bend the knees, place the feet on the floor, and we're going to take the ball and place it as high up as possible towards the pelvic floor muscles. Inhale. As you exhale, think of the sits bones coming together. Engage your pelvic floor and gently squeeze with your inside thighs onto the ball and then release. So for now, I'm really just trying to isolate the pelvic floor muscles and squeezing the inside thighs and release. One more time, pelvic floor engages and then squeeze the inside thighs and see how that affects your pelvic floor muscles when you do that little squeeze and relax. This time I'm also going to think more of the lower stomach. So pelvic floor, stomach, inside thighs, everything's going to squeeze together. But I'm still trying to keep the buttocks relatively relaxed. I'm not thinking of contracting them. So everything squeezes together, imagining the midline of the body, and everything's getting closer to that midline. And then release. And let's add a little pelvic curl. Pelvic floor, stomach, squeeze at just maybe an inch or so, a few centimeters off the mat. Drawing the stomach in and release. So the work is quite small, very deep, internal, and very important. Let's do it one more time, just like that. Squeeze, drawing the stomach in and up. Release. And then we're going to take the ball, placing it in between the knees. Going to go through all that again. Pelvic floor, stomach, inside thighs. Curl the tailbone up, and this time we're going to go up vertebra by vertebra. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, again, engaging pelvic floor, stomach, inside thighs, rolling down. And again, everything lifts up. Press the heels down as you send the knees forwards. Stay there for a moment, checking that the shoulders are relaxed. And exhale, again, squeezing, coming down vertebra by vertebra. I'm going to do 2 more of those, lifting up. Reach the knees forwards as you lift the pelvic floor. And coming back. I'm going to do 1 more time and stay up there. Take little pulses in and in. We're doing that quick, fast twitch contraction of your pelvic floor muscles. Squeeze, release, squeeze, squeeze, release. 2 more. And slowly rolling down vertebra by vertebra. I'm going to take the ball in the hands, reach the arms up to the ceiling, relax the shoulders. Just going to open the right knee. Inhale. Exhale, think of your pelvic floor and stomach muscles bringing the knee back and squeeze with both hands into the ball. And then on the other side, inhale. Open the knee. Exhale, bring the knee back from your pelvic floor and your stomach. So really using your mind to Send images to your muscles, mind to body connection. Squeezing it back. Open the left and bring it back. So again, if that's enough of a challenge, stay there. If you can take a little bit more challenge, let's do the same thing when the legs are up. So thinking of opening the right knee, inhale. And as you exhale, squeeze everything coming back to the midline. And then left. Open and squeeze everything back to center. Open the right. Squeeze. And over to the left. And squeeze. This time, as the right knee opens, open the left arm to the side and bring everything back to the center. Opening the left knee, right arm to the right and coming back. Knee opens, hand and arm reaches in the opposite direction and everything back. Let's do that one more time. And back. Put the ball in between the ankles, hands behind your head. Inhale. As you exhale, pelvic floor muscles, stomach muscles engage. Lift the head and shoulders up and reach the legs up. Gently squeeze the ball and release down. Inhale. And again, so really consciously, pelvic floor, stomach. Then lift the head. Reach the legs up, squeeze onto the ball, and back. And if you feel you have good enough control, you can take the legs a little bit further down. But again, pelvic floor, stomach, reach the legs out, stay there, squeeze. And inhale, relax everything. We're going to do that just twice more. Not doing very many repetitions because we really want to make them accurate and be able to focus on the work of the pelvic floor muscles. Relax down. Let's do one last time. Pelvic floor, stomach, lift the head, reach the legs. Stay there and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Bring the head back. Take the ball into the hands. I'm going to place one foot down. Bring the ball against the front of the knee. And think of pushing the knee in and at the same time pushing the ball away with the hands. And just notice how that affects your pelvic floor muscles and release. So that sense of pushing into the ball with the knees and the hand. And as you do that, engage the pelvic floor muscles and relax. Let's do that with the other leg. So as the leg goes in and the arms resist, engage the pelvic floor and release. One more time. Everything squeezes towards the midline and releases. Let's do the same thing with both legs. So bring the legs in, resist with the arms. Think of the pelvic floor muscles engaging. Relax. And we're just going to do one more time like that. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And release. Place the ball in between your knees. Open the arms to the side. We're going to take side to side. So taking both legs over to the right. Inhale. Exhale. First squeezing the pelvic floor muscles, drawing the stomach in and bringing the legs back to center. Other side. Inhale. Keep the chest open. Exhale. Really consciously contracting your pelvic floor muscles. Then the stomach and then the legs come back. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale. Exhale, bring it all back. One more time. Squeeze. Squeeze everything back to center. One last time to the left. Let's come to lying on the side. Bending the underneath leg, stretching the back leg. Have the head resting on the outstretched arm, and this hand will be on the ball. So again, consciously lifting the pelvic floor muscles, engaging the stomach and pushing down with the hand on the ball and lifting the leg up. I'm thinking of turning it in slightly and back. Again, push down, lift the heel. As I reach the heel towards one way, I'm thinking of lifting the pelvic floor towards the head, towards the other way. And again, squeeze down with the hand on the ball as you float that foot up. Squeeze, stay, and down. Next I'm going to stay and take little pulses. So again, going back to that fast twitch, up and up and up and up. Couple more like that. Bring the leg in. And we're going to turn in, bringing the knee towards the knee again, pressing the hand into the ball and turn out. Rotating inwards and leg rotates out. In and out. Just do a few more like that. Turn in, turn out one more time. Squeeze to stay there and release. Coming up to sitting. Again, we're going to be sitting up on the ball. So the ball is giving us some feedback, what's happening on the pelvic floor. I'm going to walk the hands forwards. So again, my awareness is on the front part of the pelvic floor. Going to round the back, push the hands into the floor. And again, thinking of stopping the flow of urine at the front. And release. Again, pelvic floor muscles lift, stomach also lifts. And open. Again, pressing down with the hands, really lifting up. Release. Let's do one more like that. Then we're going to take the hands back. So just find the most comfortable place to place your hands behind you. The hips are slightly rolled forwards. So now I'm thinking of the back part of the stopping gas. Squeeze, release. Squeeze those back muscles and release. Make sure your legs are in a comfortable position, your arms are in a comfortable position so you can really focus on what's happening on your pelvic floor. Let's just do one more, working those back muscles, back part of the pelvic floor. Coming back. And we're going to take a little shift. So really massaging the pelvic floor, one side a bit more and then the other one. Shift of the hips. And then let's take it into side bend and continue with that movement. So really bringing awareness onto the feeling of the pelvic floor. To just stay there for a moment. Open and stretch. And let's do all that on the other side. So coming to lying. Underneath knee bent. Arm long. Stretch the top leg up. Slightly turn it in. Pelvic floor engages. Stomach lifts. I'm going to press into the ball as the heel floats up. And down. Press down, float up, and release. Arm pushes down as the foot floats up. And then the next time I'm going to stay there, engaging those fast twitch muscles up and up. Squeeze, release, squeeze, squeeze. Relax for a moment. And now we're going to turn in, bring the knee towards the knee, press into the ball with the hand, and open. Press and open. Internal rotation, external rotation. In and out, just twice more. In and out, last one. Squeeze and relax. So coming up to sitting, our legs in a sort of mermaid position. Find the comfortable position for the legs and walk the hands forwards. So focusing on the front part of the pelvic floor, and then push the hands into the floor, round, and lift the stomach and release. Waking up those muscles on the front part and release. Do one more for that front part. So hold it there, lifting it up. And then walk your hands back. Find a comfortable place where you can bring your pelvis, your tailbone forwards, thinking of the back part. So squeezing, if you're trying to stop gas, and release. Squeeze those muscles. And release. Twice more. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Release. One more. Squeeze, hold it. Stay there. And then we'll do that shift of the hips. Just one side to another. So really feel this bringing awareness into the pelvic floor. And then we'll take that same thing, incorporating the side bend. Just moving your hips. Little sway from side to side. And let's just stay there for the stretch, the side bend. Coming up, we're going to go onto an all fours position. So just bring the ball in between your knees. And we're going to think of relaxing the buttocks and relaxing the stomach to begin with. And again, just focusing on contracting the pelvic floor and releasing. Really isolating it. So pelvic floor muscles contract. Can you keep the buttocks relaxed? And release. Next time we are going to engage the stomach and also squeeze the ball. So pelvic floor, stomach, squeeze your thighs into the ball and release. Engaging, lifting the stomach, squeezing into the ball and release. Let's just do one more like that. And now let's add a little pelvic tilt. So as we do that, thinking of curling the tailbone down and really lift the stomach. Squeeze, 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 hold, release. As you open the sitting bones back, let's think of opening the chest forwards, getting a nice arch through your spine. And again, curling the tailbone down as you lift the stomach up. Squeeze your thighs into the ball. Hold and lift. Open. Inhale. Opening your collarbones, opening your sits bones. Let's do one more just like that. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Lift. Open. And for a moment, let's take the puppy pose. So here we're really releasing, relaxing, just walking the hands forwards. Relax your forehead or your chin onto the mat. Take a moment to breathe. when you're ready, coming back. This time we're going to tuck the toes, press the hands into the floor, lift the knees. I'm going to stay here, squeeze your pelvic floor muscles, squeeze the knees, stay, and release the knees down. Again, push down, pelvic floor and stomach engages, lift the knee, squeeze the ball, and release. Next time we're going to stay there and take little pulses, fast, squeeze, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze. A few more of these. And then we're going to come up into a downward facing dog. And breathe. Really deep breath in and deep breath out. Walk the hands back and just relax the head over for a moment. And then slowly rolling up. So think of your tailbone rolling down as you lift your stomach, coming up vertebra by vertebra. And let's take the ball in our hands. We're going to open up the legs so that they're in a wide, slightly turned out position. Going to bend your knees, roll the ball, and keep rolling. So again, we're really connecting to the pelvic floor all the way back to the back part. Relax the head, coming up vertebra by vertebra. Lifting up. And again, rolling the ball down. So it's almost like you're massaging the pelvic floor from one side to the other. Stay there for a moment. And coming all the way back up. Let's do that one more time. Relax the head, relax the shoulders. And slowly rolling up. Vertebra by vertebra. Let's bring the heels together into a V position. Think of turning out, squeezing the sits bones together, pressing the hands into the ball, and release. And again, squeeze. So I'm thinking of the back part. Squeeze, 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 hold it, and release. Just take two more like that. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Thinking of the back part of the pelvic floor. Relax. One more time. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Relax. Let's bring the legs so that they're turned in, toes together, heels apart. Have the hands pressing onto the ball. And now I'm thinking of the front part of the pelvic floor muscles, squeezing and lifting, and release. Squeeze, lift, and release. Let's do that twice more. Squeeze, lift, release. One more time. Legs are parallel. Let's place the ball back in between the legs, between the knees. Take a squat. So here the sits bones are slightly opening. As I come up, thinking of bringing them together. And if you can, you might even want to lift the heels up. As you take the sits bones back, reach the arms forwards. Coming up. And maybe lift the heels. Again, lengthening fingertips away from the tailbone. Coming up, lifting the pelvic floor and lifting the heels. One more time. Lengthening your spine, sitting down as far as feels good. Coming up, engaging the pelvic floor and stomach, lifting the heels, and back. Going to challenge the balance a little bit. I'm going to take a lunge position. As I bend the knees, lift the pelvic floor, squeeze the hands onto the ball. Lift and then release the pelvic floor. Again, keep lifting, 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 lifting. Can you keep it engaged all the time as you come up? And then release. Twice more, just like that. So we're doing it slowly so we can really focus on the engagement of the pelvic floor all the way down and all the way up. And for a little bit more challenge, let's add a twist. Twist, 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 twist. And oops, up. Twist, twist, twist. And up. Let's do that twice more. Twist, twist, twist. And up. Last time, twist. I'm going to stay down, just bringing the focus back to center and little pulses in. So again, we're on those fast twists. Contract, release, contract. Quick ones. And let's do that to the other side. One leg forwards, the other leg back. Contracting, lifting the pelvic floor, squeezing the hands into the ball all the way down. Keep the pelvic floor muscles engaged. Up, and then up top, release for a second. And again, engaging. Bending the back knee towards the floor. Coming up, only then releasing. Engage, hold. Bend. Stretch. Release one more time, just like that. And now we're going to add the challenge of the twist. So still the most important thing I'm thinking about is the engagement of the pelvic floor, and only then taking the twist and coming back. Twist. Find your balance. And back. Might find one side is far more wobbly than the other. Twist. And up. One more time. And then coming back to center, and let's work on those fast muscles. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Stay. Coming up. And then just relax the head over. I'm gonna relax the ball. Relax the hands down and just take a little bend of one knee and then the other. Just letting the pelvic floor relax. And coming to center, slightly bending both knees. Exhale, contract and lift the pelvic floor muscles and start rolling up vertebra by vertebra, all the way up. Deep breath in, arms float up. Bring the palms together, gently squeeze them together, and then bring them to the center of your chest. So I hope you enjoyed doing this class with the aid of a small ball. Even though it's not a terribly difficult class, I've done it a few times and I've felt really profound changes in the pelvic floor. So I'd be very curious to know if that's the case for you as well. I'd love to hear about it if you have any comments. And please subscribe if you haven't done so we can do some more videos together.